The following video was made in the fall of 2012, but is still very relevant today. This one YouTube video talked about typing in the White House budget into Google. At the very top of the selections that come up, you can actually select the President's budget for 2013. That'll bring you to the Office of Management and Budget, which if you go on the left side, you can actually click the budget and then download the PDF version of the budget. What's disturbing is what follows next. As you go through the video, you'll find out the budget cannot actually be balanced. You can go to table S-5 and look at the proposed budget by category and look at 2012's budget. Adding up the totals, you see that you've spent $3.8 trillion, but only collected $2.5 trillion, leaving a deficit of $1.3 trillion. Breaking it down further, you can look at the outlays or the expenses. We've got appropriated programs such as security and non-security spending, and mandatory programs which include Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and TARP payments and other mandatory programs. The final line is the net interest. For the purpose of making a point in attempting to balance the budget, they assume that the government is completely shut down and no department is actually functioning or funded. So there's no security or non-security funds appropriated. The only expenses left at this point are your mandatory programs and the interest on the current debt. This leaves a total expense of $2.477 trillion. If you remember from the previous slide, the actual total receipts or money taken in by the government is only $2.469 trillion. So even if the government was completely shut down and unfunded, you still wouldn't be able to balance the budget. Let's take a look at the current federal debt and the projections. Table 7.1, that same document, you can see that $16.4 trillion of 2012, and by 2022 you can expect it to go to $25.9 trillion. That graph doesn't do anything for you. Let's take a look at the actual currency itself. This is $100, which is the most counterfeited money denomination in the world. Next we have $10,000, which is approximately 1 year of work for the average human on Earth. Step it up a notch and go to $100 million. That's 9,200 years of work for the average human. Now here's $1 billion. Now, if you're able to take $1 million and spend it every day since the day Jesus was born, you still wouldn't have enough money to equal this amount here. This is $1 trillion, and that's a football field on the left side, and on the right side is a soccer field with the Boeing 747, which is the airplane I fly. The next slide's a little dated, but this is $15 trillion, which was the national debt as of December of 2011. Keep your eye on the stack on the right-hand side of the screen. Here you go. This is $114.5 trillion, and that's the amount of U.S. unfunded liabilities for Medicare, Medicaid, prescription drug program, Social Security, and government pensions. It keeps going. So what's this have to do with Maine? Well, pretty much everything. The path that the federal government is on is absolutely unsustainable, and we need to look at the local level, meaning the state and municipalities, how we manage our own finances, because there may come a time when the money we rely on that we get from the federal government is no longer available.